Hello everybody. I was tagged by Jason Williams to do a 11 question tag. Had to get my questions. I guess while I'm doing this 11 question tag, I'm supposed to take a drink after each question of my favorite beverage. Well, my favorite beverage is coffee. I think everybody else has been drinking alcohol with this. But I'm going to get into the 11 questions. Then I'm supposed to tag 3 people when I'm done. So the 11 questions. Do you prefer to go on a trip alone or in a group? I prefer to go in a group. I love being out by myself camping. That's one thing. But if I'm going to go out hiking or something like that, I prefer to be in a group. If somebody gets hurt, there's always somebody there to help them. So that's question number 1. What has been the most challenging trip or hike to date? I would say the most challenging, they don't quite say, it says to date, so that's through my entire life, I guess. I joined the military when I was 17 years old. And probably my most challenging was one night we had to go out on a night hike. And we had to go like 10 clicks out into the dark. No lights, except a little red flashlight that you're allowed to carry to look at your compass. And we had to do compass readings and walk. And if you was off just a little bit, you dropped in a lake. and walk through water up to your hips, and it was in the middle of the night. It was really cold, and it was raining, and we hit the lake a couple of times. So 10 clicks, wet, cold, nasty. That was probably my toughest. That was at Fort Leonard Wood, as a matter of fact. So I knew somebody would ask me that. What was your most beautiful sleeping place so far? Been in a lot of them. But I had to go back to, I think, my childhood. We lived on 5 acres. And the guy next to us owned 118 acres. And he had like 5 strip pits on that 118 acres. And we had one we called the Blue Hole. And because the water any time you was there, the water just looked blue. And we called it the Blue Hole. And it was just so beautiful there when I was a kid. When they asked me the most beautiful place, I think back to the Blue Hole. Number 4. What winter activities do you do? I'm not big on winter activities because I'm gone so much. When I come back home, I have very little time to get anything done. That's why I don't do a lot of outside videos in the wintertime. I have very little time to get anything done, so I don't even have time to go to my own property, which is a wooded area, and really do anything. So I don't get a lot of winter outdoor activities done. Feeding the chickens, if you call that a winter activity. Have you ever been seriously hurt in the outdoors? When I was in the military on one of our expeditions, some guy from the company was just being a jerk one night and throwed a grenade simulator in a foxhole I was sleeping in. We had to sleep in our foxholes. And he throwed a grenade simulator in and blew my eardrums out and blew the other guy's eardrums out. He got court-martialed. We went to the hospital. I guess you'd call that seriously injured. Do you practice any survival skills? Yes, I love flint and steel. I do a little bit of bow drill, but I don't do a lot of bow drill. I probably need to practice that more than I do. I can get a fire with it, but I just don't practice it that much. My forte when it comes to primitive or any kind of outdoor techniques is probably flint and steel. I love that more than anything. What do you think about permanent bushcraft camps? Now this one's a big one for me. If you own your own property, or you have a friend that owns his own property and you have permission to do that, yeah, I think it's a great idea. I've been wanting to build one on my property for a long time, and I just haven't had time to do that. But yes, I've been wanting to do that. If you don't own your own property and you don't have a friend that owns it and you don't have permission to do it, I'm a big believer on you don't trespass. You don't go out on somebody else's property and start cutting down their trees and making things. And to us, that's fun. To them, that's destroying. So now stay on your own property or friends if you're going to do that. What is your favorite recipe for cooking outside? I have to say my favorite for cooking outside would be my pineapple upside down cake. I love it. Everybody I've made it for loves it. Pineapple upside down cake, I think, is probably my favorite. How do you motivate yourself in bad weather? I get in the tent, I snuggle down, and I stay warm. I go out in the woods, or I ride my motorcycle, or I do things outdoors to have fun. I go fishing to have fun. If I'm wet and soaked and cold, I'm miserable. I don't do anything to motivate myself. I'll get back in the tent or the camper and snuggle down till it's all over. That's a bad one for me. What is your heaviest piece of equipment? I don't know if they're talking about equipment. That was the last question, and I keep forgetting to drink my coffee. Okay. My heaviest piece of equipment, I don't know if they're talking about you carry in your pack or you take with you camping. My heaviest piece of equipment that I carry in my pack is probably, and if I see it handy, I'll show it to you here. And I don't see it handy, so I'm not going to show it to you here. I got a little cast iron skillet that's about that big around. I'd say 8 inches. It's a flat cast iron skillet. And it fits perfect in my backpack. Probably my heaviest piece of equipment I carry if I'm hiking. My heaviest piece of equipment would be what I take to base camp. And my base camp heaviest piece of equipment would be my motorcycle camper. It's a pop-up, fold-out camper. I'm supposed to tag 3 people after I get done here. That was my 11th question. So let's go with... I should have thought about this before I started the questions. Let's go with St. Bernard Acres. You're tagged. Let's go with Sam's Outdoor and Adventures. You're tagged. And let's go with Shlisa O'Shell. You're tagged, darling. I'll put all them down in the description. I'll put Jason Williams, who tagged me, down in the description. Until the next video, God bless. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.